All right, this next panel is 5 amazing women. They're going to talk about NFTs and female empowerment, so let's give them a big hand and come on out.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our panel. So we're just going to go down the line. I'll start with you, Leila.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Leila Hurstel, and I'm the Chief Metaverse Officer at Verse Estate, which is a hyper-realistic virtual reality metaverse. We specialize in implementing NFTs and play-to-earn frameworks and solutions. And we've been developing penthouses and launching NFT collections all around the world, ranging from Dubai to Paris, and now this month launching New York. And I'm also the founder of All Stars Women, which is DAO, to empower female founders and entrepreneurs and investors. And yeah, and so through my work at Verse Estate and at All Stars Women, I want to make sure to contribute to a more diverse and inclusive metaverse and make sure that we go down in the right direction. But yeah, thanks. So that's me, basically.
Hi, my name is Magdalena Galarraga. I'm the creative director of Community Labs, a metaverse studio where we help brands build their spaces, games, and activations in the metaverse. I'm also the founder of Unflipped, the first decentralized app to send greeting cards as NFTs. Through my work, I try to work with creators, designers, artists who still haven't jumped into NFTs and help them see how NFTs can change their lives and how it can improve their work through many different ways. So I try to do this by helping them, realize the potential of NFTs and how they can get involved in them.
Hi, my name is Sandra Tusin, and I'm the founder of NFT Soho. So we're an NFT community based in London. So we do big events in London, but we're also an agency, and we've grown that in the past 6 months. I'm also the co-founder of Mindstream AI. So we accelerate companies within technology. And I'm also an investor in Outlier Ventures, helping to accelerate different Web3 startups. So yeah, I have a few different hats within the NFT space.
All right, and I'm Sophia, not on the slide, but I am the product operations lead at OpenSea, which means I essentially am responsible for becoming the bridge between our customer happiness teams, so think customer happiness teams, customer experience, community, our trust and safety operations team, and our product and engineering teams.
Very cool. And I'm Lacroix Scott. I am a Web2 digital strategist. I also advise on a number of NFT projects. I've collected over 100 NFTs across multiple chains. And I help with audience development and helping grow not only holder value, but long-term strategies. So I wanted to go down the line. How did you get started in the space?
Yeah, so I initially got into the crypto space a few years back. And at first, I was more on the corporate side. I worked at Deutsche Bank in the technology and innovation department. And from there, I thought, how can we help to kind of digitize the banks? And so that's how I founded On & Co, which is a fintech platform that digitizes alternative investments by using the blockchain technology. And then as I progressed more through the Web3 space, I realized the huge potential around DAOs and how it could really help to establish more efficient and transparent communities. So that's kind of how I started All Stars Women. And now I really think that the metaverse has an insane potential, and that's why I got involved with Verse Estate. And we're now developing hyper-realistic solutions to help brands transition to the metaverse, and we help them to retain customers and better engage with their audiences. So that's where we're at now. And yeah, hopefully we want to help to build a more inclusive and entrepreneurial space.
It's amazing.
Thanks.
Magdalena?
I've been in this space for like a year and a half too. I started just by educating myself and learning what was an NFT. I had heard about cryptos before, but as I come from the art and design background, I initially thought this is going to change how the art world works. So I started educating myself, learning about the different possibilities, what can be done, and then I started learning about the metaverse, and it's been now a little bit more than 6 months that I'm full-time now, working with the metaverse and now with the Unflipped app, and trying to keep on shaping the future of Web3 and everything that still needs to be done, especially around women. There's so much education to be done still, I think, and so much that we need to keep on growing and helping to onboard other women. So through my work, I try to, every woman I meet that is still in Web2, trying to tell her about the benefits of Web3 and how she can become something that is still in starting and it's growing. So I think it's really empowering as well.
Yeah, so I'm relatively new to the space, so 1.5 years as well. But before that, I was doing a lot of social impact work, so working with NGOs, with my own accelerator firm as well. It was always about the thesis of, doing good, helping the community. And when I found out about DAOs and NFTs and how you could use them to get the community together, I thought this was an amazing platform that you could utilize and decentralize so many institutions. So I saw a lot of social good that could be done within this space, within cryptos, within blockchain. It gets a lot of bad press because of climate change and the effects, but I do see a lot of good that can be done, and so that's what really interested me. Yeah, so it's relatively new.
And for me, I mostly dove into the space when I worked at Robinhood prior to OpenSea and really got deep into the crypto world. But interestingly enough, my first interaction with NFTs was because my 70-year-old dad told me he bought a virtual piece of land on a virtual planet. And I thought he was crazy and got scammed, and so I looked into it. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is legit. So here I am now, working at OpenSea.
Nice. You're like the educator. You're like, oh, I need to look into this because doing your research is very important in this space. I guess I kind of stumbled into NFTs much like a lot that has been echoed here, of looking into art, looking to invest in projects, looking to support women, artists, underrepresented folks, and I just love the art and the communities, a huge piece. So moving on to what do you think are the current challenges or barriers to entry for women and underrepresented folks within NFTs?
Yeah, so I think the lack of women exposure to the underlying blockchain technology and to the specific technicalities of the coding of NFTs is likely what is preventing them from getting more involved in the space. And I think that one of the solutions we could do to help with this issue would be to help these females be more exposed to other female leaders who have experience in the technical space and who are role models. For example, Lavinia Osborne has established something called Blockchain Talks, where females who are fluent in blockchain technology, I would say, they talk about blockchain, they collaborate together, they elevate each other and inspire each other. And I think this is what's crucial in the space for females to be more involved. And one of the patterns which I've also seen is that most of the collections which were founded by females, they usually have a male co-founder. And of course, it's not a problem on an individual level, but on a global scale, it can be a problem for females to be self-sustained. So I definitely think it's also crucial for females to have access to job opportunities and to be able to educate themselves and have access to the coding, technical aspects of the space.
Yeah, I definitely agree on education, on onboarding more people, especially women. I think that a problem that we see is that there's like this reputation that tech is for men. Or, I mean, it is male-dominated, that's for sure, but it doesn't mean that there's not women in it. So I think that starting by educating the people we have around us, the people we meet, the people we work with, that, you know, there's actually women, and, you know, you can find someone that can fit what, you know, what you're interested in or where you're from, especially for the Latin community. There's some really big Latin influencers in the NFT space, such as NFT Girl, that she really promotes her Latin roots. So I think looking for, you know, someone that it's going to provide you the good education and the right resources, and you're going to be learning, is going to help grow the space, and also it's going to help sort of like, you know, to slow down or to kill those rumors that women cannot work in tech or they cannot be involved. I think also there's many different ways in which women can get involved that is not just investing. You can be just learning, or, you know, become an artist or a collector, or start your own DAO, or join a DAO, or join a community, and it's not only through investing. So I think a lot of education still needs to be done for us to get there.
Yeah, I think with the challenges in the space, I think just traditionally crypto is very male dominated, and then it's a subsidiary of crypto. So NFTs, a lot of the projects out there cater to this market. So you have a lot of PFPs, and they don't really resonate with the females out there, and that is a problem. So it doesn't attract enough representation, just because there aren't projects that really represent females. There are a number of growing ones, World of Women, Women Rise, and those are great, but predominantly the other major projects, they're very much orientated towards, you know, like sometimes a lot of bravado with like Bored Ape Yacht Club, or even the utilities, they come with like partying or yachts and things like this, Lamborghinis. And so I think there's a challenge with just the whole image of the space, but it's getting better. It's getting better when more females enter, like on our panel here. And I think, it just needs to be, the message needs to be spread that, you know, females can enter. There's so many different types of utilities. It's not all about showing off your JPEG. So I think it's a really exciting space to, you know, disrupt.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely echo that. I think there's a few things as well, and it doesn't just impact women, right? NFTs in the crypto space is hard to get into. It's not easy, right? And obviously, there's your environment as well. If your friends don't know what NFTs are, chances are you're not going to know that either, or you're not going to be interested in them. And what I love about OpenSea is that we do care about making NFTs accessible to everyone, right? Women, but also people from different backgrounds. And the other thing I'll say too is we do have a big place in the industry, and I think that it's really important to recognize the importance of setting high standards when it comes to being inclusive, being accessible. And we do that in a few different ways, through beautiful UI, but also we have a really great, amazing team with incredible women, not only in the team, but in leadership. And I think the decisions that are made by these women ultimately have a downstream effect on the industry and its accessibility and the messaging as well. And the final thing I'll say is we're also trying to highlight projects from a wide variety of creators, women, different backgrounds, etc., collaborations. And so we're always looking for these great projects.
Yeah, that's great. I like how OpenSea is tackling a lot of the challenges and a lot of the UI perspective. I definitely think UI is a big barrier. It's almost like teaching your parent how to text. Like, you have to do this. A couple years ago. So, moving on, how do you think that women can change the narrative around NFTs for social change? I know that you touched on it a bit, Sandra, but let's go down, like, how do you think, what are your organizations and groups that you're involved with, how are they kind of reframing how to support social causes? Oh, anyone?
I think what is very interesting is that there's many different type of communities around women. Some, are more focused on investing, some are more focused on the community, but I think all of them are around a social cause. They're all around empowering women, they're all around education, they're all about making Web3 a more equal place for men and for women. So I think first you need to look what you're interested in, because I think we cannot put all women within the same bubble because we have different interests, and maybe not all of them are interested in the investing side, maybe some on the social or on the creation. So, if you're a creator, like, I think you can start by just doing a Twitter, posting your art on OpenSea, connecting with other people, and by doing that, you're already shaping what the future is, because if you are going to be passive and, you're not going to do something because you're intimidated or because you're afraid or you don't know how to get started. It's a little bit of research. It's true. You have to understand what you're doing, set up your wallet. It's a lot of information when you get started, but I think definitely, like, once you do it and you start connecting with other people, you realize actually how important, like, every little thing we do in this space is right now, because something very little can turn into something very big later. I never thought, for example, like when World of Women launched, I don't think even like the founders realized how big that was or how big it was going to become. And now, they have 2-day events now in New York. They have a huge community, over 10,000 holders. And, I don't think any of them thought at the beginning, oh, we're going to create something huge. So what I say is, you just need to lose the fear, get started, and that's already, for me, a social change.
Yeah, I'd like to see just like more women represented, not just in female-led projects, in every type of NFT project, trying to get more representation there, because when like studies have shown, academic studies have shown that when we have more female representation on boards of companies and things like this, that really does have an impact. Women just tend to, I don't want to generalize, but like tend to ensure like that we have like social impact at the forefront, or like what's the implications on the community at the forefront of ideas of any actions. And so I think it's important that even in investments, more women are represented, because usually even investors, they pick companies that resonate with them. So it's just like an inherent bias everyone has. Like, you pick what you think and is beneficial for your small substrate. So I think just more representation, not just of women, of diversity, of opinion, of every type of like person out there, I think is very important.
Yeah, and I'll say think outside the box, right? That's the beautiful thing about NFTs is, like, there's no limit. There's so many different applications and different ways that women can get involved in, really anyone. And so, yeah, I think let's do this.
Nice. And just to echo the no limit, what do you think is next for women empowerment in NFTs?
Well, I think that right now we're at the beginning of the Web3 kind of shift, and everyone is transitioning from Web2 to Web3. And I really think it's a blank canvas, and I think that right now is the perfect time for females to seize this opportunity and to build and to collaborate with each other. I think it's extremely important that females are involved every step of the way in building the metaverse. And this will enable us, because basically all of us are going to be interacting and playing and talking in new ways, and every companies are going to be holding their meetings in the metaverse. So it's very crucial that now the pioneering companies of the sector make sure that women are as involved as possible. So that's why I think it's very important.
Yeah, I agree. I think something also very important is that, even though I think it's very necessary and essential, the representation of, underrepresented for women and for many, many communities, I think also I see that at some point we're going to start hopefully losing the labels, that a women project is not anymore the women project. I think that's essential for it to become really equal, because male projects are not called male projects. So I hope that, at some point we're going to just lose the labels, and, a women project is going to be stronger because it's founded by women and not because it has the women title on it. So yeah, I hope that starts happening when we onboard much more women and our space grows. I think that's going to start happening, but hopefully I think we can all do a little bit to help more women and underrepresented groups to jump into Web3 and see all the great things that they can do in this space.
Yeah, I just would like to see all the communities solidify. There's great communities out there right now with all the different women PFP projects, all the different DAOs, like her DAO or Women in Blockchain Talks. I know there's so many. So what I want to see, I agree with you, is that it's not just women DAOs or, female-led projects. It just needs to be, women just represented in every part of crypto, of blockchain, of NFTs. And I think we're getting there. I think right now we do need to have these conversations. We need to talk about diversity and things, but I don't want to have to carry on having these conversations. It would be great if it's just it's just normally represented. So yeah, I think we're getting there.
I think that we just have to be the change. It's all about education ultimately, right? And teaching people what are NFTs, what is crypto, what is Web3. And you never know, right, the impact you're going to have. If everyone in this room teaches a woman what is an NFT and asks them that in return, she teaches another woman, and so on, before you know it, you have a beautiful thing going on. And yeah, you never know the impact you'll have. You'll never know how amazing these things can turn out.
I'm all for women taking over NFTs. I think we can provide a lot of value. I see empowerment in, longevity. So being able to take assets and hand them down for generational wealth, or if you're playing a game, you can take that character and lend lease to others to extend the value of the NFT over time. And it sounds like the future, and I think that the future is in our hands in a very amazing way. So I think we have time for a question or two. Anyone has any questions?
Don't push each other to ask questions. Well, maybe we can just do some closing thoughts if anyone
Sure. So where can we find you? We can start with you. Yes.
Yeah. To close, I think I would say it's definitely not easy to resolve all the issues around involvement and inclusion and diversity, and we won't be doing this overnight. But I think we're all going in the right direction, and I see a lot of improvement in the space. So I'm quite happy about that. And thanks all for coming to see us today, and super glad to have had the opportunity to talk here.
Yeah, you can find me on mindstream-ai.com, and I'm also on Instagram as Female Futurist. So happy to talk or discuss any ways. If you want to learn as well, just let me know.
You can find me on Instagram as Magnific, Twitter as well. And you can check out our app, Unflipped.io, which is launching next week.
I am not a big Twitter user, so you can't find me on there. But feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. Happy to support any of you.
Thank you. I'm Lacroix Scott, and I'll be around afterward, or you can find me on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much. That was really inspiring. I was getting goosebumps. So thank you so much.